FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Now, the interesting thing is, up until Tuesday night, I thought there was a real chance for us to develop a 5 or 10-year infrastructure revitalization program. Every one of the G7 nations has had one in the last 15 years. Japan and Germany spent $1 trillion revitalizing their infrastructure. The American Society of Civil Engineers says we need to spend $2.2 trillion just to take what we have and put it into good condition. And I thought there was a chance that we could embark on a long-term, well-thought-out infrastructure revitalization program because it's the single best job producer of well-paying jobs that there is in the country. I mean, the estimates are all over the lot, but it's fair to say that $1 billion of infrastructure spending produces about 25,000 jobs. 1 billion. Imagine if we went on a $3 trillion 10-year program and we spent $300 billion a year on infrastructure. Imagine the jobs that would be produced. Not just jobs on the construction sites, but jobs back at American factories, steel factories, asphalt factories, concrete factories, timber factories, aggregate factories. It would be unbelievable, the explosion. In Pennsylvania, just last month, our Department of Labor did a snapshot study of stimulus funding. And we're in the last half of our road and bridge stimulus funding, about $600 million. There were 22,600 people working on the construction sites and back in the factories on projects that were funded only 100% by stimulus dollars. Infrastructure works. One of the great sins of the stimulus program is there was too little. $150 billion out of the $850 was spent on infrastructure. Infrastructure, whether it's roads, bridges, water, wastewater systems. Can you imagine if we just did the $662 billion that EPA says is necessary for capital needs for water and infrastructure? Can you imagine the effect that would have on the economy and on American manufacturing? It would be incredible. We need to do this. Now you might say, Governor, you're crazy. Where are we going to come up with $300 billion a year? Where are we going to come up with $300 billion a year to spend on infrastructure? Notwithstanding the job producing value, notwithstanding the capital investment producing value of it, where are we going to come up with it? Anybody have any idea how much we're spending on Afghanistan and Iraq combined in a year? Anybody want to take a shot? I will give, especially those Pittsburgh people, I will give you 2 tickets to the next Pirates World Series game. Young lady, tell them about all the good young players the Pirates have. No? I know more about that than you do. If you can come up with a figure. Anybody? And remember, we're partially out of Iraq. That would be too cute. That would be too cute. About 220 billion. About 220 billion. When we had all of our troops in Iraq, in Iraq and Afghanistan, we blew by 300 billion. And I'm not against nation building, but I have this quaint idea that we ought to be building our nation first.